evening, family. Welcome to Sunday Connections. Whose first Sunday Connections is this? Any new guys? Yeah, quite a few of you. Okay, so this is where we have speakers come from outside and speak about their spiritual journey. It's non-denominational. It's not about converting anybody. It's just for them to share their stories, to inspire us to do the same, to do better, right? So now I have the honor and privilege to introduce one of my really good friends. He was a mentor to me while he was here, still is. This man has done more for me than most people in my life, and I mean that. He's done so much for me. I can't even explain. I want to get emotional just talking about it. Logan was my house manager. He was a third year when I got here, so he's been an inspiration from the start, and he became staff for a while. I don't know how many times he come and talk to me when I was on the bench. He lit me up in games probably more than anyone. Came back Monday and lit me up.
Thursday. I let you have it on Thursday.
And lo and behold, he lit me up again. But he always tells me what I need to hear. He's a man to be admired, and I'm really glad that he's here. Really glad he's here to tell a story. So let's give a warm welcome to Logan Child.
Thank you. I got a bunch of bullet points here, but I'm probably going to start talking and just forget the bullet points. But there's a picture up here, and I'll get into this later. But this picture represents a pivotal point in my life. Not this one exactly, but what's going on here. So what I want you guys to do as we're going on until we get to this point is kind of just see what's going on here. Kind of see what this photo represents, and I'll explain it to you what it means to me. But my name's Logan. I'm 33 years old. I had, to me, what I thought was a normal childhood, riding horses, playing outside with my cousins, raising all sorts of trouble, and paying consequences for that. I grew up in a family that they taught me the difference between right and wrong. So the consequences, they were bad, they were good, but there was always consequences. Grew up LDS, and we went to church quite often, and it gave me a moral compass inside about values. And so I talk about knowing right from wrong, having values, having some good morals. And I lived a lot of my life like that. A lot of my life. Well, I should say childhood, because the rest of my life got pretty sticky and hairy. But I grew up in Jerome, Idaho. It was a small farming dairy community, and I was a 3-sport athlete. Was popular in school, at a 4.0 GPA. Life was awesome. I had no complaints. I was a good baseball player. I was on a really good team. As a matter of fact, I think the last year we played in 9 tournaments, won 7 of them. And the last tournament that we lost was a tournament to go to Omaha for the Little League World Series. So my life, in my mind, was there's no way that I can fail. I'm set up for success. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to play baseball. I'm going to get a degree. I'm going to have a nice job. There's no way that I could fail, right? I was set. But my sophomore year, we moved down here to Utah, which I thought was going to be a great thing for me. All my family's here. My best friend is my cousin that we used to ride horses and get in trouble with and do all that. And we were going to go to the same high school. So I thought, perfect. I can come into a new school, play sports, just jump right on the baseball team, play basketball, play football. Well, his crowd was a cowboy crowd that, we left school, we drank, we smoked, and we partied. And what that led to for me was I no longer had the attendance credit to try out for the baseball team. So I'm there in the locker room. Coach comes in, says, all right, everybody hit the field. Logan, you stay. Everybody leaves, and he says, you can't try out. You don't have enough attendance credit. And he turns and he walks out the door. That was it. That was the only interaction I got. I've been going to all the the morning tryouts during the winter. Like I was ready to try out for this baseball team. I was going to play baseball for Fremont High School. And talk about a punch to the gut. Now this life that I had imagined that I was going to have, to me, it was over. In all reality, I mean, the things that we learned today, it's not over, Logan. You just got to get up and you got to work a little bit harder, get eligible and try out next year. But no, that wasn't my way of thinking. My way of thinking is it's over. I can't do anything hard. I'm just going to do what's easy. So what did I do? I started sleeping more school. I started drinking more. And I found the popularity that I had in Idaho that was a positive one down here in Utah. But it was with the wrong crowd. It was with people that they didn't care about me. They weren't my friends. I mean, even my cousin, right? We were close, but we didn't care about each other. We cared what we were going to do Friday night. We cared how are we going to get out of science? Well, that question was easy. You just jump in the Jeep and you go. And then so the fact that I even graduated high school was a miracle. I had to do packets, which my mom did, by the way. My sister's laughing because she knows. My mom graduated high school for me, but I got the privilege to walk, and that was special. That was special. That was a life goal that was checked off, but all the other goals I had, they were gone. So I completed 1 out of 20. I'm winning, right? Wrong. So I graduate high school and I've got all this shame, all this guilt, and I'm numbing it with alcohol. For the longest time, I was a heavy alcoholic before I ever got into hard drugs. And when I graduate, I meet this pretty girl at a football game. And I walk up to her like macho man, and I turn to my friend and I says, "Is this the girl I'm taking home tonight?" And he says, "Dude, that's my sister." Well, I ended up marrying that girl. But I was still an alcoholic. I still didn't care about myself. I still had all this shame, all this guilt. Because we'll go back to the knowing right from wrong, morals, values. I was living my life that went against everything that I knew was right. And it's spiraling. It's spiraling. We have 2 beautiful boys together, but I was an alcoholic. I got interviewed by Michael Hawes, and he says, "I already know the type of person that you are, Logan. And if you tell me you love your kids, I'm going to call you a liar." And I was in Davis County Jail. And that was correct. I loved myself. But I didn't really love myself because I wasn't that good of a person. I bailed on my kids. I bailed on my wife at the time. And so we get divorced, and there's more shame. There's more guilt. There's more hatred for myself. So going from being an alcoholic, now I dive right into using heavy drugs. And that took everything that I was feeling inside away. You guys all know. That took it all away. And I thought, hey, I'm Logan Child. I won't get like those people you see on TV, because I didn't know anything about it. I knew people that drank. I know what that did. I was one of them. But I didn't know what heavy drugs did. And it took over. I think the first year I started using, I was already arrested for shoplifting. Go spend 30 days in Kiesel for work release, and promise myself I'll never use again. I actually write up like this special custody stipulation with my ex-wife on a piece of paper that we went to the bank and got it notarized, saying if I use again, we'll do this. And she's like, bet. It worked for her, right? Long story short, I used again. So I go from having 50-50 custody to nothing. She says, "Logan, You are on drugs. You do not get to be around your kids. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Because I wasn't a father. I wasn't a good dad. I was taking the place of that title. But I didn't have any of the responsibilities that being a dad and a father require. And that built more shame, more guilt. So I relapsed. I relapsed maybe 3 or 4 times. You know, I'd do 30 days here, 2 months here, 6 months there. And the difference between being sober and living a life of recovery is something that we're all learning now, right? How many times have we been sober, but how many times have you lived a life of recovery? Probably haven't. That's why you're here, to learn that. So I finally get arrested for 3 felonies. I think I had like 6 co-defendants. There was just a pile of us that were shit sticks. And we were doing it together. And they all went to prison and because they've been there before. This was my first time, right? So I get drug court. And that didn't work for me, right? I was in Davis County. I go to the drug court, but I live in Weber County. So I was like, all right, this will be easy. I can just transfer over there, go to the Weber County, still live at mom's house. If I live at mom's house, she's going to hold me accountable, which she didn't. Mom enabled me. I was a baby son that was a liar and a manipulator, hardcore. I was good at it. I got what I wanted. I can promise you that from my mother. But my mom she never turned her back on me. Not in those times. She never turned her back on me. So I go to Weber County Drug Court and they say, Logan, your restitution's too high. We're just going to put you on AP&P. Perfect. No problem. I can do that and I don't have to jump through all these hoops that drug court requires. This will be a piece of cake. Well, let me tell you something. I lasted 10 months. 10 months sober. Not in recovery, but 10 months sober. And all it does is it takes Facebook Messenger. That one person pops up. You call them. Hey, you got some? There I am. You know, I say now that back then, if anything happened to me, I would use anything at all. It's actually in the Matthew Perry book too, as well. You know, if you guys get the opportunity to read that, I recommend it. But he was the same way. Anything, good, bad, normal, whatever, I used. And every time that I would relapse, guess what? More shame, more guilt. And I finally got to a point where my kids they're not out of the picture, but they're not there. And I was blessed with a great ex-wife that if I was doing right, she's like, yes, please take them. I'm sick of them. Have you met your boys? Please come get them. No, they're great. But no, I was blessed that way. I'm very fortunate to have that type of a person in my life. But last 10 months, relapse, and we go to September 7th, 2019. It's actually my sobriety birthday. I tell my mom, I'm ready for some help. I'm ready to get help. So she drives me into my probation officer, and we sit down and my probation officer wasn't help for me. He just said, well, there's plenty of opportunities out there. You should probably just go find one. Well, 7 days later, September 14th, 2019, I got arrested for 3 more felonies. So I'm going back to Davis County Jail. I'm 7 days clean, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Every other time that I've been arrested, you know, you're talking to the cop car. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. No, you got the wrong guy. This time they put the handcuffs on me. Nothing but peace. I was getting an opportunity to face what I want. In my mind, it was, okay, Logan, you're getting some sobriety time. You're getting away from those people. They're going to see that you're in jail. So they'll leave. We know how those associates are, right? You go to jail and they go away. Well, I'm sitting there in jail and I'm the type of guy when I go to jail, I get religious, really religious. Stop swearing, don't drink coffee, read my Book of Mormon, pray 4 times a day. But that worked for me. Let me tell you something that happened this last time that I was incarcerated. I was doing it for a different purpose and things happened for me. You know, I'm not gonna preach to you guys about my religion, but I experienced in there the powers that my religion has. And in comes a Red Barn Academy flyer. And I write my letter. And I'm a nervous wreck, right? I think it was 2 weeks since I sent my letter till I got interviewed. And I'm sitting there thinking like everybody's forgot about me. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to prison. I'm felony on felony. Oh no. And then Michael Hawes shows up and lets me have it. Lets me have it. Tells me, if you love your kids, I'm going to call you a liar. You love yourself. You guys have probably heard the same speech inside there. I've probably said it to some of you. And he goes on and he's telling me about Red Barn. And he says, do you have any questions? And I just go, do you take people that are felony on felony? He says, yeah, there's a bunch of them there. My response was, hell yeah. That was it. I couldn't say much more. So I go back to my cell and I decided that my public defender tell me, Logan, there's no way you're going to Red Barn. You're going to prison. All 6 of these felonies, they're going to run consecutive and they're second degrees. So not only am I going to prison, but I'm going to prison forever. And, you know, today I can say this differently. Like today, if I was to look back, like I would say that at that point in time, the hope that I had was that I'm going to Red Barn to get the tools that I need to change my life. No, that wasn't my mindset then. My mindset was I'm going to Red Barn because 2 years is way sexier than 15. And that's what it was. That's what it was for me. I'm sure same for a lot of you guys. You know, let's go to Red Barn so I don't have to go to prison. Then I get here and we were starting to build this building, that garage, the pond out here. And that's what I had skills in. And so I came in here and I was like, oh man, I get to jump right in and do something that I'm familiar with. I thought I was a hot shot then. I think Michael pulls me in the first 10 days I was here and he goes, what do you think? And I says, you know, honestly, I think I'm a lot smarter than a lot of people here. And he's like, get out of my office. You got a rude awakening there, bud. And then after that project stopped, after I got taken off that project, it got hard for me. And that's where we're going to get into this picture. I almost left. I was going to go to prison. I'm on zero tolerance. I was willing to go to prison, but there's this man sitting in this room that saved my life in that moment. His name is Shane Goodbar. What this picture represents is I've grown up around horses my whole life. Race horses, I've broke horses, I haul horses now. Been around it my whole life. And Shane sees me going through this tough time and he doesn't know that I'm ready to go. And he says, let's go for a walk. And he says, you used to break horses, right? And I says, yeah. And he says, let me ask you a question, Logan. When you're standing in the middle of that round pen and that horse is working that round pen, what are you asking from that horse? I says, well, I'm asking him to surrender everything that he knows, that the wild in him, to surrender that and just to trust me. And he goes, Logan, what if I was to tell you you're the horse and Red Barn's the man standing in the middle of the circle? It clicked. From that moment on, it wasn't about 2 years instead of 15. It was about doing what Shane Goodbar, what Nicholas Anderson, what Michael Hawes do so I can be like them. I dove in both feet. And my life has changed dramatically. And I'm here to tell you guys, I dove in both feet, but I didn't do 3 years perfect. As a matter of fact, that same man back there, he's giggling now. We skipped rows for night security together. We contracted up, got 30 hours. He got 45 for having amnesia because he's like, oh, no, I don't think we did that. Yeah, he's still, go ask him about it. He won't know. But no, guys, I did my 12 pieces. I did 30 hours. But while doing that, I mean, I think you said it the other night. What is community service? Was it you? Who was it? Right there, Ricardo said it. Yep. What community service is? It's homework to learn on your behaviors. And when I did my community service, I did them with gusto. So I could learn where I was failing in life. So I could overcome that. You know, another thing that saved my life was this moving company. Being taught by Nicholas, we took this unbelievably heavy blue couch up these stairs. Well, Nicholas pushed me up these stairs while I was hanging on to it, but
It was 11 o'clock.
yeah, it was 11 o'clock at night. You know, that moving company taught me that I could do hard things, which translated into the program side of things here. If I can go on 5 or 6 moves a day, and if you go on a move with Nicholas, you run, not like jog run, you sprint the entire move. I look good as 190 pounds. I was in shape. But no, it changed my life because I got to do that connection. I built that connection with my brothers. Not only did I do something hard, I did it with people that I cared about, built a connection with them. And like I said, if anything happened to me, I would use, well, that happened all day long and I got to come here and I didn't use. I got to wake up tomorrow and go on another grinder with Nicholas. I can do hard things. You know, and then I start advancing in the program, become a crew lead myself. I got to start teaching people the knowledge I know on the moves. When A helps B, A gets better. I get into leadership. Then Red Barn Academy is no longer about you. It's about the newest guy here. It's about the guys in your tribe. How can you give them something that you have so they can make it another day in this program? When A helps B, A gets better. So seeing this room full of faces that I don't recognize, I don't know probably half the people's in this room's names, and that's my fault. I need to do better. But when I see this many people that I don't know, guess what? You're being taught by somebody that I taught. When A helps B, A gets better. When A helps B, A gets better. A's getting better by seeing all of you guys here. Ben Fish, the guys like Nicholas, Shane, the guys that came before me, they're getting better because you guys are here. Because the principles that we were taught, honesty, integrity, accountability, and hard work. And I know every man in this room knows how to work hard because you do it every day. those life skills. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not perfect at them still. I still fall short, and I fall short often. But the difference between me today and me before Red Barn is when I fell short, I fell all the way short. I let it affect me. I didn't choose to be a better person because of my mistakes. You make a mistake, you fix a mistake. If you got to work that much harder to right your wrong, you do that. Why? Because you're a Red Barn Ranger. You're a man now. And that's how I try to live my life today. But I don't do it alone. I've got a great support system. My beautiful fiance, Shaylee. The things that she's great at, I promise you, I'm not good at them. The things I'm good at, she's good at everything. So, but we complement each other. We make a team. So I still don't have to go through this journey alone. I still have people to lean on. I call Shane 2 or 3 times a week because Nicholas doesn't answer his phone. Because I have a connection. And it's more than a connection. He's my brother. He's my best friend. And when I think my life is hard and things are miserable right now, and I call Shane, guess what happens on the other side of the phone? He laughs at me. And that tells me, you know what? It's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. As long as you keep going. So now, going from accomplishing 1 out of 20 goals, I'm now probably accomplishing 19 out of my 20 goals. Because I can do hard things now. You know, after I graduated, I decided to stay a 3rd year, and there were a lot of reasons, but there was one thing that really stuck out to me that made me commit. I was sitting in Alan Farringer's office, and I'm sitting there, and he goes, "Logan, you should stay a 3rd year because I know what's best for you, and I told you so." Okay. What do I got to lose? Right? The best thing that ever happened to me was coming to Red Barn. The best decision I ever made in my life was choosing to stay at Red Barn. Because I was able to experience my real life and come back to a safe place. Unwind with Shane, Nicholas, Michael, Wayne. I got to decompress. I got to talk about it with my brothers of this is what happened. And they said, well, this is why it happened, Logan. I guess you're right. And that transpires, you guys, into the decisions that I make today. Me and Shaylee, we talk about it all the time about the things that we're going through and how it can relate to Red Barn. Now we hear in games how, you know, we talk about the 10% that you do wrong, not the 90% that you're doing right. Well, I'm here to tell you, when you get in a relationship, talk about the 90% that they're doing right. It will save you later. But no, I love this place. This is my home. This is the place that gave me my life back. Gave me my relationship with my kids back. My family. Build new relationships. For the community that knew me before, now they see me different. I walk into Kent's and somebody walks up to me, "Logan Child?" Yeah, I just want you to know how much of an inspiration you are for what you have done. Guys, that's your story. You are living that story today. You know, and to tie this back into the spiritual connections, I want everybody to turn your wristbands inside out. And look at what it says. The one that stands within. The morals, the values, the knowing from right and wrong. And only you know who that person is. And this journey is going to get you so the one that stands within is no longer buried deep inside, but it is now the shell of the person that you are. I love you guys all very much. Thank you so much for having me. This is a privilege. Does anybody have any questions?
I was wondering, when you're at work, when you've done a lot of Red Barn stuff, you have a lot of connections now. How much do you talk about Red Barn and what for you when you're out at work and things like that? Does that help get you through?
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of customers that I run into, either their horse is in a stall and they're like, just go pick it up. But then there's others that want to talk. And so I tell them the story about how, you know, I'm a recovering addict. I'm going on 5 years of sobriety. I used to work at the nonprofit that saved my life. And now I get the opportunity to reconnect with my father and help him in the business that he owns today. So Red Barn, it goes with me everywhere. Red Barn has seen the country. Sister?
I point to that, it's not just his work life. So I've got 5 kids, 19 to 10. 2 of them are boys, 3 of them are awesome tweens and teens. You know, and Logan and I will call each other pretty often. And just start with, what are you doing? What's up? He'll ask about the kids and I say, you know, who was it the other day? Gladen? It was Gladen, my 15-year-old. You know, I'm just annoyed. He's busy, he's a great athlete, but he can't drive yet, so mom it is, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he was ornery about it one day. And I told Logan, I said, it's just pissing me off. Logan says, put me on speaker. Sure did. Red Barn came into that. You need to be grateful, you need to take accountability. I've heard it with all of my kids. But he says it to my kids too, and for that, my kids know. They answer him back, they respond to him, they say, okay. All right, Uncle Logan. But for that, I'm grateful. I've got good kids. But Logan was a good kid too. So to be able to teach that to my kids now, I'm forever grateful for that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, Sean?
What time at Red Barn was your favorite position, you know? Manager, what was the favorite beneficial for you?
Gosh, that's a tough question. I liked them all. They all had their different perks. You know, I loved all of them. Let me say that. But for different reasons. I loved being a crew lead because I loved the physical grind. I loved being part of a 5-star rated moving company. I loved sharing our story and grabbing the newest guy and teaching him each one teach one process, teaching him what I know so he can pass it down. Like the moving techniques that you guys are doing today, I didn't create them. Somebody else did, but they taught them to me. They taught them to Nicholas, and then Nicholas taught them to me. Shane taught them to me, and then I was able to teach somebody else, and now you guys are doing those same moving processes. So I love that one. The corporate development manager, that was so rewarding just to be able to not share your story once a day, but 100 times a day, and then get the community's response about the wonderful work that we're doing to receive donations, to put Christmas together. Brad started the 5K. We did that together. We worked in corporate development together And there's the car show. To do that stuff. That was rewarding in itself, and to learn those people skills, emails, how to talk to somebody on the phone. Just how to represent yourself well, all these technical skills that I carry today that I still use. House manager, I did that position for a long time. And to answer your question, that one was my favorite. Because I loved helping people. I love to see that light bulb turn on. You know, like I look at Isaac today. I mean, just hearing him in games the other day gave me goosebumps. Because when he restarted, I ran out of Nicholas's office, pulled him out of the truck, and gave him a haircut right out there. But to see him be a house manager and who he is today, it just fills my cup, man. To hear that Tyson committed to a 3rd year, that fills my cup. Because I know that if Tyson, that if you do this, you keep walking the path that you're walking today. And then once you graduate, keep doing that you get to have a successful life. And I want nothing more than that for you guys. So the house manager was my favorite position because I got to dive into each and every single one of you.
So you talked about how, we manipulate those that love us the most. And so now you spoke about your mother. What's the relationship like?
She's my mother and I love her very much. We fight still sometimes, right? But that's because she's my mom and I'm her son and she's allowed to yell at me. But now I'm a different person and I don't try to manipulate her. And she loves this place probably more than I do. She's she's so involved with Red Barn and anything that she can do to help this place out, she does. And I'll never forget my first Christmas here. Nate Marion, who actually good brother of ours that passed away, he went and got the stockings one night and he wasn't supposed to tell me, but he grabs me and he's like, "Do you recognize what's in these stockings?" And there's a popcorn ball. My family did the stockings. So a piece of my family was here for me on that special day. And that's something that we continue to do for you guys. And so to be part of that process, to give back to you as well, something that was so special for me. I did it this Christmas with them and it was incredible. Dustin?
What's the best memory you made here at Red Barn?
Best memory. That was fun. That was fun. But this day, when Shane said, "You're the horse," that was my best memory because that was a transformation into my new life.
You said at one point you won't let, like what transpired before everything, it's not part of the what you do. Say, need you stay.
Shane made me stay. Well, I made me stay. Shane just put it in perspective for me. There was a lot of stuff going on. I didn't walk out or anything. He actually found me. He could just see it on my face. So when your leaders see it on your face, don't push them out. Go with them. Go talk to them. Because you don't know what's going to happen. It was one of those days where I was just having a rough day. I think I didn't ask Anthony if I could have seconds at lunch and I was all emotional and thought I was going to get lit up in games. And this was hard, right? Because I wasn't Logan that was the center of attention. I wasn't that guy. I was an intern being told that where I was falling short, and that was hard for me.
Two-part question, sorry. Okay, maybe for your father. Here, our farm setting for us to, I mean, we got animals. What would you go up?
There's-
One thing that you might do is
Probably the biggest thing is hard work and keeping a good attitude. There's, trust me, there's plenty of days where I don't want to have a good attitude, and there's a lot of days where I don't. But the days that I don't, they affect me. The days that I do, I can keep moving forward.
I heard about a time where, like, you guys had plenty of alpacas and you guys had to catch one in order for you to stay. Were you part of that era?
It wasn't to stay, it was just the initiation. You had to give an alpaca a hug. Yeah. Yeah. I caught them a lot once I was a farm manager too. I didn't want to catch them anymore. That's
So what's next for you?
tomorrow.
You gonna stick around?
When I'm home, I will give you my best effort. I will give you my best effort. I'm not gonna make any excuses, but I am gone a lot of the time. So tomorrow's what my future holds. I'm here till next Tuesday, so you'll probably see me see me a little bit more.
How did you handle pivot and change when it came to the enterprises?
You just gotta do it, man. I've always been decent at multitasking. So the pivot and change wasn't the toughest process for me. That was something that I could get into pretty quickly. And then it's the pivot and change in each enterprise is I wasn't doing it for myself. I wasn't working in these enterprises for me. I was working in these enterprises because my brothers needed me to keep the lights on. We had to build this building, so you guys had a spot to live. You know, I don't know how many times we were we'd be moving boxes in a box chain, just building the camp house, getting another brother here. That's what we were doing. You know, we were building this place. Go ahead.
So when I broke out, like the initial building was what, 16 beds or no?
6 in every room. Yeah. There's 4 rooms upstairs, 4 rooms downstairs. 48. When I got here, there was 48 beds in this building right here. Yeah, this was a dirt field when I got here. Shane,
If you had to go do it all again.
that not a thing. I loved every minute of it. That was probably the best day. We were playing Still the Bacon and which I don't know if you guys still play it or are allowed to still play it. But Nate Marion would come in hot to get this ball. You'd call out a number and the numbers would have to run in. And I planned on not even going for the ball. I knew he was coming in and we were going to win, and I just lowered my shoulder and there goes Nate Marion about 6 feet that way. Which I don't do that. Don't do that. Shane.
Favorite move and hardest move.
Favorite move. That's the favorite move. Rich, he's actually your friend that works for the title company. It was on Halloween. We moved him from here up to Morgan. and 3 trucks came in. It was actually Taylor Lish's first move. Nope, it wasn't John Acey. Nope. I can't remember his name. Saved my life. But there were, I think we brought in 2 extra crews to help. It was 3 truckloads up to Morgan. At the end of it, we were all standing in his garage. And I was a crew lead on that move, and there were 2 other crew leads. And I mean, it was a perfect move. Not one ding, nothing. And at the end of it, we all were standing in the garage, and I says, all right, this is a special time. You know the Red Barn story, but so I would like to do something different. I would like to go around the room from all of our guys and have them share with you what Red Barn has done for them. And we were all bawling. And it was fantastic. Hardest move? It was that 2-bedroom ASAP that the tables fell on you. Yeah, Shane got hit by some Lifetime tables, and he's down and he's holding his leg, and he's like the type of guy, if he gets hurt, just get away from him. So I run up to him and I hug him. I'm all, shh, it's okay. But that move was hard. Yeah, don't do that again. Any more questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Logan. So, hours of homework. I'll tell you what, as a house manager, he gave me a lot of homework. But I just want to say, man, Logan's a living example. He's living proof that this program works. And so for all of you guys, especially the newer ones, man, when you're going through it, times get tough, and you're wondering why you're doing this, there you go, man. We have so many examples around here. Logan's just one. And so let him be that example for you too. Thanks again for coming out. Let's give one more round of applause.